Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer. In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this wooden candle trio. Now this is something that was inspired by Pinterest. There are other ones like it. However, I haven't seen one yet that has a cutout center like I did. There are little candles in the back. Some of the tools you might need are a miter saw, jigsaw, sander, drill, and pin nailer. If you'd like to add this little drip detail at the top, you're also going to need a glue gun. So stick with me and I'll show you how to make this cute project. These are the planks I'll be working with. They're all the same, but I'll be cutting them. You do want to keep in mind, and I did bring in some wood screws I'll probably be using. So one thing you want to keep in mind for the bottom piece, make sure it's something that's sturdy enough that is going to keep this whole decoration from falling over. So these are all the same size, but I'll be cutting them here shortly. Okay, so these are going to be standing like this. So they're 3/4 inches. I did have pallet wood out there, but I felt that to drill, it's going to be one of the first steps. There's going to be a hole in the top with a dowel rod going in there to hold the flame up. And also I'll be attaching it probably with screws from underneath. You want to pick something that's going to account for that. Also, I chose these boards that are lighter in color because I intend on painting them white, red, and green like in the picture. So probably one of the very first steps is going to be finding center here and drilling holes, probably at least maybe about 1.5 inches, 2 inches deep. I think I want to use, I think this is a 1/2 inch dowel rod. I have a 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch on hand, but I really think that I want this to be sturdy, especially to attach the top of those flames. I just thought the 1/4 inch was a little bit too wimpy. So I'm gonna do a small hole, take this off, and then gradually do a larger hole. And I wanna sink it about 1.5 inches at least. To set my depth, I'm going to use painter's tape. It's not quite perfectly in the center, but I can try a little harder the next time. I actually think I want that to be about 2 inches in depth now that I'm seeing this in real life. Perfect. Okay, and what I might do, because I'm going to need to cut flames, and it makes sense to me, I'll be cutting some off of these. It makes sense to me to drill the hole for that as well, and maybe draw out the flame and cut that out while it's attached to a large plank versus a tiny piece that I'm trying to clamp. So I might do that next. I think I'm gonna make my flame about 4.5 inches high. And I also kind of like the idea of making them kind of jaggedy. My idea also is to cut a hole in the middle and put a tea light somehow behind so that the flame will flicker through. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. But right now I'm just gonna kind of sketch something like that. And I can kind of, this is just my rough template. I can maybe change this up a little bit so that it's not like you're not going to have a perfect flame each time. So there's my rough idea right there. I'm going to trace that out. All right, I'm going to do another hole here in the center and then cut this with my jigsaw, and then I'll do the other two as well. That's going to be sitting in there, and then that little light will shine through. I'm going to try a 1-inch spade bit. I'm going to make a hole here. Methodical here, that should be about center. I think I'm through. Woo. That smells heavenly. my first prototype. Here are my two pieces I already have. This first one is roughly 18 inches. The second one is about 16, and then this one will be about 14. And I've just kind of free-handed this, made it nice and scrolly on top so that when I add, I think I'm gonna use hot glue and try to do like dripping wax. I need to start preparing for the little piece that's gonna go on the other side of this. I want it to mount like about here or a little higher, like that. I think I'm gonna drill just a couple shallow holes so this can actually be recessed just a tiny bit, and then this piece can actually be split. So I need to cut strips about like that. I hope that makes sense. But I might as well do it while this is one long piece instead of working with tiny pieces. Okay, so the spade bit that would fit this is 1.5 inches. At this point, all of my candle pieces are cut, my flames are over there, and I want the candles to be painted on all sides. So the fastest way to do that is for me to mount it on scrap pieces for right now. I just have 2x4s laying around. I think I'm gonna cut the base piece. I'm not quite sure what length, but it's over here, it's extra long. I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead after I paint them and then figure out how long I want that. And I might be staining that. So that is what the plan is now, but one is going to be white, one green, and then one red. Here's my first coat. I kind of did like a little trial run, and I actually think this needs tapered off a little bit more. I think that cut is too blunt, so I kind of traced what I want. I want it more of a teardrop look around, so I'm going to fix that and then give it a second coat of paint. I think what I'm going to do next is take some of that scrap wood and cut like a 45-degree, just like a triangle, so that when I attach these to the bottom board, they have a little bit of support in the back. And I think I'm going to stain that rather than painting them to match. Coming down the home stretch, the next thing I'm going to do is take some wood glue, put it in here, and get these dowel rods secure. You can cut these at any length that you want your wick to be. I cut them, they looked about 4.5 inches, appeared to be about the right size. And because there is a little bit of wiggle room when you get this in here, what you might want to do is see how this kind of wiggles around a little bit. So what I'm going to do is get it in the position that I want it and then shoot a brad nail just to keep it so that this wood glue dries and it's straight up and down. And I'm using some really, this is like a 1/2 inch, it looks like. This is 23 gauge headless pin nails. I'm just going to shoot one tiny pin into each just to kind of hold that stick in the right position. It's basically, I'm going to want it to be right in the center of that, so it's going to shine through. Hopefully I'm getting that the right angle for the camera. I think I want the T, like the top of the tea light, to be even with the opening of the hole. So it's going to be like that, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm kind of going to make a mark, and because I might have drilled the holes a little bit different depth each time, so I'm probably going to put some glue and then shoot a brad nail through the front for that too. I'm going to actually put this aside and let that sit for a minute, and then when it starts to tack up, I'll get that excess glue off and shoot a pin nail in it at that point. Just want to make sure it's straight. Just need to find my spacing and attach everything, and then I'll be done. All right, kind of a little trick. This is going to be my centerpiece, and I found center on that, and I put like a little nail up in there, and then I also found center there. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of make like tiny little mark. That way I know where to drill a hole, and I'm going to probably countersink it on the other side. To figure out the spacing and back, I have a piece that I'm going to set here. I'm gonna line this piece up and then press with that little nail to make a divot so I know where to put my screw hole. I'm actually gonna give that a little tap. Okay. To find the green, I'm gonna put this on that side and do the same. I am going to find some type of ribbon to make this not look quite so Italian flag looking. I'm going to touch up a little bit of paint maybe. I also wanted to experiment with maybe some hot glue and like let it drip. I'm going to do a test piece on that first though. I wanted to make these removable, but I actually think that they're going to kind of tilt because I had to make the hole a little bit bigger for that dowel to go in. So I am going to glue it and shoot just a tiny pin nail in. Okay, I was able to go into my stash. I found a nice ribbon and then this ornament. It says peace on it, which I thought was kind of nice with the candles. It's sort of symbolic and fits the theme. So I put that on there. And then the very last thing I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna use my hot glue gun, and I practiced with a scrap piece. I'm going to go around just the top and the front of each candle and just kind of put a little bit of glue to make it look like it has a melting candle effect. I ended up just doing a very small wedge sliver in the center on the back, and I hot glued it. I hope this video was helpful and inspires you to make a candle trio of your own. If you aren't already, I hope you'll subscribe and also comment and like to give this video further reach. I'm also on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Please look me up there as well. As always, I thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.